Hi guys, the title of this video will either be "Is sex a beautiful thing?" or "Asexuality and boom something." And that's because the topic is precisely that. Is sex a beautiful thing? Whatever adjective you want to put on that, go ahead and do say that for you sex is blah blah blah. Don't go around saying that sex is as if you were someone to hold a general and universal truth that would be applicable and true for every other individual on this planet, because it is, first of all, not true, not accurate. Secondly, it can be very, what would be the word? Rude. It can be really invasive, really aggressive as well. And making this video for two reasons. First of all, because I came out wow, whoa, oh my god. Well, if you've been following me for a while and you've been reading the kind of answers I give some people, sometimes I'm not a big fan of coming out, as in the term itself and as in the act itself. But anyway, I came out to my mom about my asexuality. I told her, "Mom, I am asexual." First of all, she said, "Oh no, don't start with that again," which puzzled me quite a bit because I don't remember talking about that with my mom, but apparently I did at some point. Then she said, like, who told you you were asexual? Are you the one telling that about yourself? Like, are you the one giving yourself a diagnosis? I was like, "Mom, did you go and see a doctor to check if you were really straight? Because if you're the only one talking about your sexual orientation, I cannot believe you. I cannot give you credit for that because you need it to be confirmed by an authority figure." So she apologized. My mom is not a bad person at all, but she's not the most I don't want to say she's not open-minded, but she's not naturally open and accepting of things that are very different or outstanding. So it must have been really hard for her to have me as a kid. And she cried and she said she was sorry for me and she felt very sad for me. A few days later, I got a message on my Facebook page. I'm sure the person had the best intention in the world. They always do. I want to appreciate this message because it was personal. The person told me about their sexual life. Basically told me that I was probably looking at sex in a shallow way, that I was not thinking of it as something that could be beautiful and intimate and slow and tender between two people that loved each other, and that sex was a beautiful thing. And the person went on, telling me how amazing it is and how you connect with that person. And I was like, okay, sure, for you that could be the case. I'm pretty sure you're being honest about your feelings, but you are not me. You are not me. And you don't know what's in my brain, you don't know what's in my heart. And I know these people mean no harm, but there are so many people like that. When we talk about asexuality, so many people react that way. Like, you just need to find a good person. You just need to experience it without any prejudices, or you just need to go with the flow and you just need to find something that works for you. And I'm all about that. But people have to understand that if you're asexual, even if you're gray or demi, whatever, most of the time you will not want to have sex in the slightest. It's not that you have like bad ideas or prejudices about sex. It's just that it is not something for you that evokes the same things as for most people. For me, sex is not beautiful. Like, I don't mind people having sex. I'm not thinking anything about people having sex. Like, why would I? But I don't think it's beautiful. And those people don't know my reaction towards sex. They don't know what I think. They don't know what I feel. They don't know if that could be a trigger for me or whatever. And they're like so invasive, telling me about how beautiful it is and how it must feel good when you love someone, portraying it and describing it as the perfect way to love someone, as the perfect way to share a moment with someone, as something so great it has to be experienced, so that it feels like the way I feel is totally invalid and worthless and lacks something. And if you're an asexual who is struggling with your sexual orientation, not with yourself, not within yourself, but in relation with the world. For example, like labels, but for the sake of others' understanding, we need to use them. I identify as a gray asexual. I struggle with it with my relationship with others because others are not. Because others don't understand it, because others are not informed, and because others want to have sex. And I struggle with it because sometimes happens I meet someone, I happen to really like that person, and this person happens to really like me too, we get on super well, and they leave me because I'm not jumping into the kissing, having sex, cuddling wagon. And it is very painful and it is very hard, and when people come up with, you know, such bold messages, it only makes those struggles more painful. It's like, do you really need to, you know, do that? Love and relationship and feelings and sensuality are things that are really, really personal and really deep to the core of who we are, and it's such a very delicate thing to talk about. And people, because you're asexual, they don't take anything in consideration. They don't take the fact that you may be struggling with with your asexuality. They don't take the fact that maybe you're repulsed or you're scared or you're disgusted by sex. They don't take in consideration the fact that maybe you don't want to hear about their sexual life. They don't take in consideration the fact that maybe you don't want to reply to questions such as, do you masturbate? They don't understand that it's painful to, when you're not aromantic, to be considered as aromantic just because you don't want to have sex. People don't take in consideration the fact that maybe you are tired of people wanting to fix you. Maybe it's so frustrating to just see in everyone's eyes and everyone's minds that they feel like your life is missing and lacking on something so important. It's not like they're like, oh my god, I'm so happy I'm not like you. But that's not how it works. The problem is never your sexual orientation, it's always the way society and the people react to it. So for me, being asexual is not sad in itself. I think of a life without sex, it's not I'm like happy about it, and it's not, and I'm not sad about it either. It's just like normal. There's nothing missing. I don't feel like there's anything lacking. And it's not because I haven't experienced it, because you don't even know. But what do people say other than that? It's not because I've never been really in love. It's not because I've never really bonded with someone when sharing my fluids with them. Sorry, being a little bit sarcastic, you know, can't help it. So stop trying to fix me. Stop trying to help me with that. The best way you could help me with that is just be like, oh, that's cool. Okay, fine. When I told my mom, she was so sad and I didn't want to worry her more, so I didn't tell her about how it is hard, the stigma attached to it, how people think it's not true, and how it's hard to make people understand that yes, you can still love people but not want to have sex with them, and yes, you can still appreciate being around people and touching them a little bit but not too much, and how hard it is to find someone who wants to find the balance with you. I was like, Mom, if a bi or gay person were to cry and say I'm so sorry for you, what would you tell them? And she said, well, I would tell them I'm perfectly fine with who I am. And I said, well, that's the same for me, Mom. You know, that's strange because I feel really uncomfortable using labels most of the time. Like, it's something that doesn't irk with me. I'm not a label person. I don't like using labels. And I want people to understand that I think that sexuality is a fluid thing, it's a spectrum, and it changes, I think, and it depends on every circumstances in your life, blah blah blah. But when I said to my mom, I am asexual, it felt very good. Because it felt like finally there was a word that would sum up everything, kind of, and that would be easy and convenient to use, and I wouldn't have to go through so many like comparisons and explanations to make my mom understand how I feel. So that was really nice, and that's when I realized, oh my god, yes, talking about it is important and saying the word is important. So that's why I'm doing this video, because I think it could be useful for some of you. If you're asexual or not, feel free to let me know what you think of that. Okay, so thank you guys for watching that, and we'll see you later. Bye bye!